Hello everyone, and welcome back. You guys watch the tent videos, and a lot of times when I'm cooking up there, I'll put nettles powder like into my fried potatoes or whatever, and a lot of people ask what it is that I'm putting in there. And what I'm putting in there is this right here. This is Stinging Nettles. You can kind of see what that looks like. And I'm harvesting it today. I purposely did not weed this out because I knew that I had nettles growing here, and I wanted to get some of the powder to use here at the farmhouse. And it's, if you read about it, it's supposed to be like a superfood or whatever, so I'll just put it on once in a while, but I only have it up there. So I've been waiting for this to get big like this, and what I do is I'll just clip it on the bottom, and then all I'm doing is going ahead and snipping this off. The very bottom part of the stalk is going to be way too fibrous. I'm going to run this through, once it's all dehydrated and everything, I'm going to run this through the blender to get it down to a powder. So basically you just want the leaves, and when you start getting down to the, like some of these are getting brown, I'll just leave those. And a lot of the stem will chop up nice, but if you get it too big, you get a little bit too much fiber. And when you're doing this, you want to make sure that you're wearing gloves, because just like it says, it's stinging nettles. There's little hairs on here, and when they come in contact with your skin, it's annoying. It'll make you real itchy, kind of burns. I think it goes away, but once it goes through any type of heat, dehydrator, boiling, because you can boil this and make it into like a leafy green. The heat takes the stingy stuff out of it. I wonder if I can, sometimes on the, I'll see if I can try to get the hairs. I don't know, I doubt you'll be able to see them, but let's just see here. Well, I don't think you can see them at all. There's just little hairs here that I doubt you can see, but anyway, they are, like I said, annoying. If you do get into them, you can take plantain, which grows all over here. This is what a leaf of plantain looks like, and you'll take and you'll just mash it up so it's wet, and then rub it on that area, and it does soothe the actual stinging of the stinging nettles. So I'm going to go ahead and harvest this. It's nice that we just had over 1.5 inches of rain, so I don't have to worry really about washing this. If I don't see any bugs climbing on it right now, it's good. This is actually going to be nice. It's been annoying me that I can't get this whole area cleaned up because I've been waiting for these nettles to get big enough so I can do this. I'm actually going to plant some rhubarb. Rhubarb grows the very best on, here anyway, on the east side of any building. We've got rhubarb right there that's huge, and I've got some that's in an open garden, a fenced-in area that just gets full sun all the time, and it's just horrible. It just stays small, but when it's against the building, and particularly the east side of the building, so it just gets that morning sun and not the hot afternoon sun, it just flourishes. So I'm going to get this cut up here and then put some rhubarb in, which will probably end my growing of this right here because rhubarb shades everything out, but that's okay. If you want a better more of like a description, wild edibles type video, I do have a video on this channel. Just look in the wild edibles playlist for, or just do a search for stinging nettles. And look it up online, it's amazing what they say this plant does for you. I mean, you can buy nettles powder online, but for me it's so simple to make it. Might not be as purified as what they have, but it does the same thing. Nettles likes to grow in disturbed ground that's been disturbed, kind of like plantain and lamb's quarters. Plantain will grow like in your yard a lot too, but like lamb's quarters likes to grow where it's disturbed. I always wonder why that is. It was already here when we bought the place, but there was a ton of it here. And once I made this into a decent chicken coop, this is the only place that we get it, but I also, mow the grass and everything here now. But there's a couple pieces back by the forklift that I'm going to grab that I saw growing. Down at the hobby farmhouse, there was a lot of this stuff. And that's another 1.5 growing zones south of here. And if I go up to the tent, which is another zone or so, I don't know, zone, either it's a zone here anyway. The tent is like 2.5 different growing zones from the hobby farmhouse. You never see it up there. It must be too cold or something. When I was out here the other day, I saw this stuff, so when I was mowing, I mowed up to it. Now I'm going to take my dehydrator and we're just going to very gently throw it in there. And now what I'm going to do is I'll fire this up, and this stuff goes down real fast. So after this goes down, then I'll take and put a shelf in and I'll pack it in there. And once that goes down, I'll put another shelf in and put it in. But there's no reason to sit there and take the leaves and do them. You can do it however you want. You have a different kind of food dehydrator. Maybe you've got one of those round ones where you have to put it on the tray. Well, then you have to be a little more careful. But I mean, I don't care what it looks like when it's done, it's going to get ground. I just want it to be completely bone dry, so I just shove it in there and let the machine do the work. And you can do this in the sun, you can do it in the oven, you can do it wherever you want to do it. As long as you get it dry enough so you can crunch it into a powder. I'm just going to put it on 140. I'm going to run up and get some lunch. And we'll check this in a little while and see how it's going down. I just went up and got lunch. I was gone about 20 minutes, and you can see how far down it is already. Well, my big blender is out in the front garage because Melissa doesn't use those. She uses these, whatever they're called. And she said this will get it just as fine as a blender will. So we'll go ahead and do some in here. I still have probably a little less than half of it still out in the dehydrator. Oh yeah, I'd say that does it better than a blender. Wow. Now that that's done, I mean, it's really fine. You can see that. And there's a couple little, like the little bigger pieces, and if you want to, you can run it through a sifter. But there's really no reason because you're never eating this raw anyway. You're going to be putting it in something to cook. So that's just going to hydrate, and it'll be just fine. Just for fun, let's run this through the sifter and see how much goes through that. So you can end up with those little pieces, and you still get some down here. Yeah, maybe I'll take those out. Those are harder, but they will cook up. I didn't do that when the stuff I have at the tent. Nope, it's just straight. Run it through the blender, and it's into the jar, and I've been using that for years. We'll come back tomorrow and finish this up. Well, it's the next afternoon. It's time to just get this stuff all finished up. I just turned it down to low this morning because I knew I wouldn't get it done today until this evening. Well, I will not bore you with this part. We'll just come back and see what we ended up with once it's all ground up. Okay everyone, well thanks a lot for watching how I make the Stinging Nettles powder. And here where the stinging nettle was, I planted rhubarb. It's funny because I got these plants at the exact same time, and these are on the east side of the building. These little ones were planted in full sunshine, and look at the difference. Next year they'll all be the same size, big like these right here. I will see you guys on the next video.